All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for attending our second edition for webinars this year. So this is an important one. I'm glad we see a lot of attendance, which is good. It's going to be basically revolving around TPOs. So I'll just give it another minute and we can get started. Appreciate the time you guys are taking off your busy schedules. The start of the year is hard, I know, with the ITC. So we have a surprise for you today. So that Nikhil, my colleague, will be telling you about on TPOs. So we want to really look at how we can support our customers and installers to sell more in 2026. All right, so I'll just give it a few seconds and then we can get started with our agenda. All right, really quick, so I'll introduce the hosts. I've been with you on most of the webinars. So my name is Hisham, for those of you seeing me for the first time. Been with the Solargraf product for about 9 years now. So I run solar design services and sales for the Solargraf platform. My colleague Nikhil, he's kind of the spotlight's on him today. He'll be running through all the TPO integrations we've got, and then he'll be announcing a new product that we're introducing to the market along with CED. All right, so a quick agenda. For those of you seeing Solargraf for the first time, I'm going to give a quick overview of the platform. If you require more details on features and so, we'll post a link at the end of the chat, at the end of the webinar, where you guys can sign up for a one-on-one personalized demo with a rep. And that way you get to explore all the features in the platform, from design to CRMs to integrations to proposals to plan set generations and so forth. And then myself and Nikhil will cover high-level fintech integrations that we have. We'll talk about our new product with Concert prepaid leases. I'll launch a few poll questions. I'd appreciate if you guys can participate and give us your feedback. It's going to help us a lot revolve our products and categorize them to the market. And then Nikhil's going to run through a brief demo on how the integrations work in Solargraf, including the new product we'll be announcing. And then we're going to open it up for Q&As. I'd really encourage everybody, you should see a Q&A icon on the top of your screen on Teams. So please post your questions there. We got a couple of moderators that will be helping to answer questions throughout the webinar. All right. I would like to start off with a poll question first. So, and this information really helps us understand where you guys are with your business and what are your plans. So the first poll question is, what percentage of your solar and battery projects will include TPO options in 2026? So let me go ahead and launch the poll. Just give me a brief second. All right. Just let us know if you guys can see the poll.
You should see it in the chat. Yeah, you should see it in the chat.
So I'd encourage you guys to give us your answers. All right, great. So let me go ahead and close that one off, and then we'll continue with our presentation. Nikhil, can you verify if you see my deck?
No, I can't see a deck. I'm still seeing the poll.
Let me go ahead and share it quick. Okay. So let me backtrack here real quick. So for those of you seeing Solargraf for the first time, right, just to give you high-level idea about the platform. So we are mainly a functionality of a design tool and a proposal tool. So you're able to use AI-powered solutions to be able to create accurate production numbers versus entering different consumption profiles to generate the most beneficial output for a home to offset the bill. And then you're able to use smart, interactive, real-time proposals that you can negotiate with customers. Fully customizable. You can add sections to the proposal. You can change the color themes, pictures. You can hide charts, enable charts. You can add your own custom sections. And then seamless integrations with different fintechs, which we're going to talk about today, including different CRM integrations that we support. And then finally ending up with generating your own plan sets in Solargraf. So this is a piece that we recently integrated about a year ago, and we are continuously doing more and more improvements to support different use cases for generating plan sets to make your installation cycles pretty fast. And then we give you different control access to be able to set up user interfaces, to be able to set up custom roles, permissions for your teams, set up different roles, and so forth. So like I said, if you guys need more information on the features and would like to see more, you can always schedule a one-on-one consultation with one of our reps. High level, really quick, before we get into the TPOs, what's coming up with the Solargraf platform. So for those of you who are our customers, this is very important for you guys to know, so you know what to expect. And also for those of you seeing Solargraf for the first time, you'll be able to understand what we're really working on. Biggest projects for 2026 we're working on is Enlighten integration. So for those of you with Enlighten accounts, you'll be able to basically have Solargraf fully integrated, and that way all the project details migrate into Enlighten, and that way it's easier to start up the commissioning process and so forth. So that's the biggest one we're working on. More commercial support on generating SLD files and plan sets designs. So we don't support that today with our plan set generation feature. We do support all residential. So the aim and the goal is to get to commercial as well. One-touch design. So this is constantly we're working on how to make it easier to be able to generate a plan set. The homeowner facing in a solution will be something that we would be working on as well. I don't have much details on that at the moment. And then what we continuously continue to improve and work on in Solargraf is our UX, making our UX simpler. The user interface journey much simpler. They know where to click, a few buttons, and you generate a design and a proposal. Customization features on the proposal, different integrations that we're working on, and then finally financing options that are being managed by my colleague Nikhil, and much more that's coming up in the pipeline. Quick glance at who our partners are today. So on the loan side, we have GoodLeap and Dividend. On TPOs, third-party ownerships, Concert is the new program we're going to be talking about that Nikhil will delightfully be able to explain and kind of dig into the weeds. And then we've got LightReach, GoodLeap, and Infin, our other TPO partners. Approved partners that are not integrated, but they do approve Solargraf production numbers is Everbright and IGS. On the commercial front, we have BMO, which is Bank of Montreal in Canada, and upcoming integrations that we are finalizing is with Sunstone Credit. I have one more poll question for you guys, so let me go ahead and launch that, and then I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Nikhil, so he can start with the TPO. So let me go ahead and launch this poll question. Just give me a second here. Okay. So let me bring it up on the screen here. All right. So appreciate your contribution.
And Hesham, I'm just going to take over the screen share so you can.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, great. I think we've got a number of answers, which is great. So a lot of people looking to incorporate TPOs, which is good. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to Nikhil. Guys, just a reminder, please post your questions in the chat, in the Q&A section. We will have a live Q&A where you guys can post your questions, and Nikhil and myself and a lot of the moderators will be able to answer those live. So yeah, Nikhil, whenever you're ready, please go ahead.
Hey guys, how's it going? So my name is Nikhil Joseph. I head up financial products here at Enphase, which includes Solargraf and a lot of the integrations. Appreciate you guys answering the question. Basically, the question that I put forth is going to be my goal for the next couple of months, if not the next 12 months. What I should be focusing on from a Solargraf perspective in terms of should I be looking at access to more TPO products? Should I be looking at prepaid products, loan, or commercial options? It's kind of interesting to see more TPO is by far 48%, I think 18% looking at prepaids, 25% at commercial as well. And with 25D going away, it's not surprising that the loan option is probably at the bottom. So appreciate you all answering that. Let's dive into what we have in store for you today. So 2026 is a little bit of a different market. You all are probably way more familiar with this than I am. But with 25D going away, access to the 30% ITC goes away for cash and loan customers. However, through 48E on the tax code, leases, PPAs, prepaid leases, prepaid PPAs can still attain that 30% ITC, in addition to other adders as well. This includes domestic content, which is an additional 10%, and energy communities, which is also going to be an even more of an additional 10%. So it could be up to 50% that these TPOs could attain. This slide here is basically a decision tree to help you all kind of understand where things go depending on what the customer is looking for. So if the customer doesn't want low or no upfront costs, basically a cash deal is the way to go. They can pay everything up front, everyone's happy. However, if they're like, hey, I don't have that cash up front, if they want to own the system, or if they don't want to own the system, then a lease or PPA makes sense. If they do, then you keep going down the ladder and you say, okay, do you want to forego the TPO 30% ITC, which is usually the base that most TPOs can get? If they don't want to forego that, the prepaid lease starts to become the product of choice there. And if they do want to forego it, then you have a loan. So basically, loan and cash are still options today for customers who don't want to pay up front, or they don't really care too much about the ITC benefits at the end of the day. So just wanted to put this out there just so a lot of you all were familiar with how we're thinking about financial products in the space today. Open to feedback on this one as well. I want to introduce our newest partnership with Concert. Concert has come out with a prepaid lease financed with a loan. This product is called Propel. Propel is a prepaid energy services agreement, also known as an ESA, where basically the prepaid lease or prepaid TPO product and the early buyout are financed with a Concert loan at the end of the day. What this means is we're trying to get the best of both worlds. So the best on the lease side of things, where we can attain that ITC, any additional adders, any additional benefits, provide the homeowner O&M for first 5 years, performance guarantees, all of that, but also be able to give the homeowner a ownership path after year 5. So with Propel, the product is structured where it's a TPO for the first 5 years, and then it switches into a loan, basically almost a loan product after year 5. The customer continues to pay a fixed monthly payment. There's no dealer fees on the loan. It is a fixed, consistent monthly payment with no prepayment penalties. I say that because if you have a customer who is close to having all that cash, you can pay off that loan in month 1. There's no issues with it. There's no prepayments. You can avoid all the interest rate fees, all of that. Fantastic. One of the other benefits of this is because there's no dealer fees, there's no escalating payments, it's a fixed payment for the customer. There are no additional payments required to take ownership of the system. So this is something which is quite useful for folks. I know there's a few other prepaids in the market, but this is kind of where everything is grouped into one. From the homeowner point of view, this is one product, one DocuSign, one agreement. They don't have to work with multiple financiers. They all work through Concert to get this. This product is available in 4 markets today: Maine, Arizona, Texas, and California. We are planning on going live. These aren't the only states that Concert will be going live in with Propel. Propel will be going live in other states in the coming months as well. If you as the installer are interested, or you have customers that are interested, please contact your Enphase RSM. They will let me know, and I will get you on a list to get added to the program. Basically, we are managing this in partnership with Concert, which is run by the Green Tech Finance team, as well as the Beam team, and the TPO, which is sole source at the end of the day. I see, Sharon, you said Illinois. It's definitely on the list coming up, so don't worry about it. Um, that's all I had to kind of talk about concert as a whole. What I wanted to spend the remaining time was I actually was going to do a demo for you from essentially design all the way to see concert integrated into Solargraf. If you have any questions about the prepaid lease or anything with financing in general, feel free to put in the chat. One of my colleagues will hopefully let me know. Let me first pause there and see, are there any questions that have come up? Hisham, Andy, anything I've missed that I should pay attention to right now?
The latest one is Hawaii. Are we gonna have Propel in Hawaii?
It will be coming out in Hawaii. I don't have a date yet. Upcoming states, we're still bringing this to market, so we're still up in the air in terms of dates. I don't want to commit to anything right now. New Hampshire and Vermont are also stuff that we've talked about in the Northeast. What if they have a loan on the system but want to add more panels about it? So battery add-ons. So battery panel add-ons and batteries. This is something, let me take that back. I actually don't have an answer for you. If they have a loan on the system, it would have to have a separate controller completely. So I think that's the only way to go around it. It has to be built separately. It can't be built on top of that. Obed, to your question, Arizona, Texas, California, and Maine is the other state that I mentioned. Can the homeowner pay off the system before year 4? Absolutely. Because it's a loan, you can pay it off in month 1 if you want. They don't need to wait until year 5. The beauty about the product is it's all built in. You just pay, as a customer, you're just paying off the loan. The loan has already financed everything in the back end. Great. Let me go through a demo, and then hopefully if you have more questions that come up, feel free to let me know, and I'll kind of go through it towards the end if that's okay with you. Credit criteria, it's going to be, if you're part of the concert program, you'll know what the credit criteria is. It's 660 and above FICO, but we can probably talk about that closer to launch in your state or wherever there is. All right, let me do the demo, and then we can kind of take it from there. I'm going to start from scratch, and I'm actually going to do a demo in my home here in California. And let's look this up. I don't have solar, mainly because I'm converting a lot of gas appliances into electric before I go solar. So I'm just going to call this test demo. I'm going to ignore the contact number and the email, and let's go straight through. I've done my home a few times, so you can see that it's been used a number of times. A lot of you, if you're familiar with Solargraf, I'll quickly do an overview. This top section here, just kind of how do you want the flow to operate? Do you want it to be residential? You have the option of commercial. Do you want to order the proposal, or do you want to create the design yourself? And then what are the different designs? You have the site imagery here as well. You have multiple providers you can choose from. I'm going to stick with the near map one. It looks like there is a more recent date, but I'm guessing the quality might be poorer, which is why I didn't pick it up. Yeah, let's go with the July 14th one. You can zoom in and out depending on how you see fit. You can also upload your own imagery if the home isn't accurate or it's new build. I'm going to stick with the defaults here from Genability. In fact, it is yep, this is actually my actual use, which is great. And then my default, I know my usage is actually probably around 750 kilowatts per month, kilowatt hours per month. And then let's do the demo there. Perfect. You can also change the consumption profile. We have various profiles. This is basically built off of Genability. If you have a household with kids, you work at night, if you're a retiree, you can kind of build this accordingly. You can also add appliances. Say I was going to add an EV, or I was thinking of buying an EV in the near future. I can add that using this manage appliances and go to the EV section here. You can also do it if there's upcoming projects coming up, major projects that will change your consumption profile. You can also add that accordingly. I'm just going to go ahead and create the design. I'm going to zoom through the design portion here, mainly because I'm by no means an expert, but Solargraf is simple enough where I probably only need a couple of minutes and I can design it through. So I'm just going to detect the roof outline. I'm going to let the AI do most of the work. And then once it does that, I'm going to detect the pitch and the azimuth. Give it a second. There we go. Let's do the pitch. There we go. And let's do the wizard just to take care of any obstructions. As you can see, I have a number of trees and my neighbors and my front and backyard. I also have a number of skylights. The wizard would automatically detect all of that. Now it's done everything. It's got the AHJ setbacks, which is great. Let's go ahead and let's design a system. Solargraf has the option where you have the smart designer where you have 3 ways to design a system. You can max fit it, you can bill optimize, or you can do a consumption profile. I'm going to go ahead and just click on a facet, and it's going to max fit it on that facet. Great. I have 12 modules, 4.8 kilowatt system. Looks good. I'm going to go ahead and do add a battery as well. And while that's loading, let me see if I can answer a question for you. So for Propel, will the lease turn into the loan automatically afterward, or the homeowner have the option to keep it as a lease? So it is, that's a great question, Maria. It doesn't actually turn into, it's a loan from the beginning. However, the homeowner does have the option to keep it a TPO product at any point in time. The buyout is built in automatically. The homeowner at any point before year 5 can choose like, hey, I want to keep this as a TPO product because I want to keep the O&M, the performance guarantee, all of those things for the full 25 years. They can choose to do so at any point. Hopefully that answers your question. I'm going to go ahead and select the IQ Battery 10C. Let's go build this as a grid-tied system because I am in California. And let's go ahead and build this in. It's recommending a 20 kilowatt hour battery, about a 73% offset. Let's go ahead and take that. Basically, I'm done with the design at this point. Now, let's go through pricing, and then I'll show you how Propel kind of works with this. Pricing, just a refresher, you can price any way you want. It's priced super low at 285 right now. Let's go ahead and up this to 30,000. It'll automatically update the price per watt. You can also have the option of just pricing it with this itself. It'll automatically update the other side. The same is true for the battery as well. You can choose to update it here, where you can say like, actually, I want it to be 900 kilowatt hours, or you can update it here and say, hey, I want it to be 20,000. So I'm going to price the system at 30,000 and 20,000 just for example's sake more than anything else, because I know you're probably interested in pricing here. I don't have any other adders, but you can choose to add them if you want, any discounts, whatever you need here. So it's a $50,000 system. Let's click save. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my financing options, and you will see the Concert logo here, leases. Click view available products. Propel Financing is going to pop up. Let's click save. I'm going to have the web quote open on the lease itself. So just to make my life a little bit easier, there's going to be a cash, and I think there will be a loan available as well. Let's go ahead and open the proposal itself. Now the Solargraf proposal will open on it open on the cash deal. Let's go ahead and switch this to the TPO product. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and check that, make sure I did import everything. Yeah, it's there. Can you use ground mounts with Propel? I'm actually not sure about that one. I think the answer is yes, but let me double check that. Okay, so let me go ahead and reshare my screen. I think the reason it wasn't available is because the price caps was hit. So let me go ahead and change the pricing to show you what I changed, and then we can take it from there. So I changed it to, instead of, let's change it to a $15,000 system, 313 per watt. I was at 6 something. I think that hit my price cap. So let's go ahead, save that. So it's going to be, just for argument's sake, it's going to be a $35,000 system. So for the question about the ground mounts, let me come back to you on that. And I believe the answer is yes, but I need to confirm. For rural areas, manufactured homes are popular. Does there need to be a HUD title, permanent foundation step, only ownership of land enough? I'll need to come back to you on that one. That's a pretty specific question. Okay, so let me go. I'm sure you've all seen the Solargraf proposal itself. I won't spend a lot of time on the proposal itself. All of this is customizable depending on how you want to show it to the customer. What I will try to focus on is the payments for concert here. So with Solargraf, and this is only available in Solargraf, you can get the monthly payment directly from Propel. So we'll be able to give you the monthly payment directly based on the address and the price that you had given. With that, we also check to see whether your address is energy community eligible. Basically, energy communities is another adder that's available for TPOs to attain an additional 10%. With the Propel product, they take that 10% and they try to pass on as much of that as possible in addition to the 30% ITC. So with that, what we do in Solargraf is when we checked the energy community, we'll automatically know whether it's energy community or not. And based off of that, this can be a lower monthly payment than you would typically see. We also have all the disclosures mapped exactly like exactly required by Propel, which a lot of the other tools will not. And we have the financed amount here. I know it's super small at the moment. And the early buyout and the prepaid services here. The reason we have that spelt out, because those are the 3 items the customer will see when they get their documents from Concert. These 3 numbers have to match up exactly, and they are going to be the exact same numbers that they will see in their actual documentation that they're required to sign. Now, imagine the customer, it's a happy path. Customer has said, great, this is fantastic, love the product, let's go with it. What happens then is, as the installer, you just go to this Concert logo, click apply, and click the design that you selected. I only designed one, but let's go ahead and click this. And once you click apply, you will go into the switch portal. Again, this is only available with Solargraf in terms of this type of integration. With the other tools, you have to go back and forth, back and forth. It's not going to be as smooth. We will have all the information is ported over into the switch portal. So if you have all the customer information, we'll port that over. All the financing information, the monthly payment, the prepaid amount, the actual price that you price to the customer is all ported over. You don't have to redo those pieces again. The only things you will have to redo, or the only things you have to do now, is trying to get some of the PII information off the customer. That is the personal information from the customer. That's their date of birth, last 4 of the social security, and the annual income. You can also add a co-applicant if it's a couple, or if they feel that their credit isn't good. Or you can send this via email if the customer feels that they don't want to fill their information on your device and they want to fill it on their own. So that's the process. I'm not going to run through the full Concert portal side, but I did want to run through how we get here and what information is important. Now, this is the integration that's live today. What we are planning on having a more integrated solution where all of this is going to be inbuilt in Solargraf. If you used any of our other TPO products or loan products, we're going to build Concert almost similar to that, where it'll pop up a window with the application. It'll be in the Solargraf portal itself, and you can fill out and find out the credit application from here itself. Right. So I want to make sure I answer questions. That's my demo in a nutshell. I see a bunch of the AI tools have commented, so let me see if I can source through some of the questions here. Can you load? Yeah, go for it.
One question from, excuse me, from Ian. Markets with local battery rebates where the battery is participating in a VPP, does this program allow?
We're looking at VPPs at the moment. So yes, there's nothing restricting, like this can be eligible for VPP markets as well. There was a question I missed from Sharon and 10 Star Solar. So will it be available in North Carolina? I'm hoping it'll be available soon in North Carolina, where it's definitely on the markets we're looking to open up. What is the advantage of converting to ownership versus keeping the TPO and the O&M? So converting to ownership, basically what we found is, or what we've seen in the market is the ownership products tend to drive a lot of the volume. And so we still think a lot of customers will want the ownership because then they can do as they please with the system. Keeping the TPO, there are some benefits as well. You can keep the O&M, but you can't do, I think there was questions about system add-ons and stuff like that. If you don't own the system, those become much harder to do. So if your consumption changes over time, which it likely will, you can't change your solar, your system accordingly. Let me see if there's anything else I missed.
One more I can read out.
Yeah, go for it. Can you load multiple PPA products to do a side-by-side comparison? Are the leases PPAs transferable upon property sale? It depends on the lease provider on whether those PPAs are transferable. Typically, they are. Basically, as long as the new person's credit can pass whatever the credit criteria is. Can you load multiple PPAs? Yes, you can. You can do a side-by-side comparison. Let me share my screen again. Yep, you're already seeing it. Let me go ahead and show you the side-by-side. So obviously, once you enable a financial product, all you have to do, you'll see it in this drop down here. You can see basically all the financial products, whether it's cash, loan. If you go to this option 1, you can click this compare. And in here, you can compare different financing options for option 1. So you can select, hey, I want to look at my cash. Say I selected 2 PPAs. You could do 2 PPAs side by side. I'm going to go ahead and just do all the 3 that I have enabled at the moment. I'm guessing this is what you're looking for, Sharon. Are other TPOs options integrated with Solargraf, and do they show similarly on the proposal? Yes, they do. We have GoodLeap, we have Lightreach, we have Enfin, and now we have Concert. They all behave very similarly in how they show up in the proposal itself. There are slight differences here and there in terms of the application process, depending on the partner itself. But on the whole, we want them to behave almost identically for you.
Thanks, Myron.
Great. I think we're at time there. Airbnbs, I don't know about that. Just that's a pretty niche case. Is there a DTI minimum? Let me double check. Concert will probably know this better than I will. I'm not familiar if there is a DTI minimum or not. Just looking through my notes to see if I have anything. Yeah, I don't have anything to tell me otherwise. Awesome.
Joe.
Thank you all. This is great.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day and good luck this year.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.